Look, it's not easy playing against City. I know this. Many other teams know this. That's not to say they're not beatable. You can beat them. They'll still go on to win the league, but at least you can beat them at home in some aspects. Liverpool have beaten them at Anfield more times often than not. If it's not a win, it's a draw, but they'll still go on to win the league because of our shortcomings, and they're just too good. Same with other teams. But when you're playing at home against City, you really do have to level up because you can't afford to slack off. Arsenal saw that earlier on, a couple of weeks ago. We're still yet to see Tottenham and City face off because that's always a good game. City can't seem to beat Tottenham when they're away at Tottenham's home ground. We shall see what happens. But we're talking about United at the moment here. And Manchester United haven't been in the best place. I think they've lost, 5 or 6 games this season already. They've lost the same amount of games in 10 years since Fergie left, and then that Fergie lost in all 26 years, 34 matches or something like that, 35 maybe, if that's added now. So that's not good. And when you consider the managers that have come since Ferguson, like Moyes, and I'm going to try to remember now, so it was Moyes, we had Van Gaal, there was obviously Solskjaer. Didn't Giggs take over for a bit, or Fletcher? I can't really count them. You had Rangnick, you had Mourinho, and obviously Ten Hag's in now. And am I missing someone else? I possibly am. But you look at the managers that have come through. Damn. And the one thing that's stayed constant throughout that is the ownership, the Glazers. And obviously we know now that the Glazers were going to, a deal was going to happen with the Qataris, but that didn't happen now. Sheikh Jassim pulled out, and what's his name? The British fella, Radcliffe, he put in 1.4 billion, but even then he's going to try and oversee that. But what's going to happen over there? It's a shambles. It's an absolute shambles. And Mark Goldbridge adamant that even though you may change the manager, it doesn't change anything because the same ownership is there. It's like if you have a bad ownership of a company and you keep changing managers, that doesn't change things because the people above them are still there. That whole thing needs to change in order for things to get better. And sometimes it gets worse, but in this case here, how much worse can it get for United at the moment? And I try to say this as objectively as I can as a Liverpool fan, as objectively as I can. But for United, the game against City, they could have had something in it. They definitely could have had something in this game. There was a few early chances, a few giveaways from City. There was a McTominay chance. Bruno hit one over the crossbar. There was one in the second half that Rashford control off the turn, just a little bit slow, getting his feet right, went just past the post. Onana, for me, in this game was man of the match. Onana had to pull off 3 or 4 quality saves. That first one from Haaland at the back post when he just dives across and puts his palms out, that was outstanding. But Haaland got the last laugh because he got the goal in the second half where he learned not to go keep, with the way keepers diving, go back across the goal, and he got himself that second goal. The penalty, that was suspect because we've seen them happen so often. And a lot of people say, like, that's not a penalty, you can't give a penalty. If that happens on the pitch, anywhere in the middle between box to box, the referee probably pulls that back and says, okay, that's a foul because you've dragged him back, you've hooked him. It's not like there was a bit of a arm on the shoulder and he's pulled him back. He's literally got around him and yanked him backwards. And look, Rodri did make the most of it. One could argue that there wasn't that much resistance for him to spin over like that, but he knows what he's doing. Smart man, the dark arts, as many people call it, and that's what happened. And then in the second half, and it was still first half, sorry, Haaland gets a bit of a tug on his back from Stones, but he doesn't fall over. He keeps on going. If he falls over, does the referee look at that and say, okay, we're going to look at this now with VAR? And that the penalty decision took a long time. I think it was like a good 45 seconds to a minute, maybe more, before they said, yeah, you need to go look at I forget who the referee was, one of the small baldy referees, I forget who he was. You need to go look at this. And after a few viewings, they gave it. Don't know if that's a penalty or not. Harsh one to give, a harsh one to concede as well. But that's what happened. But that's not to say that would have changed the game. City probably would have ended up scoring anyways because United just really didn't do much. Apart from City's errors, United didn't have anything really going for them up front. changing players at halftime, bringing Mount on, Amrabat coming off at halftime. I mean, he's on loan from Fiorentina. Like, isn't this guy meant to be like your midfield dude? Casemiro didn't start in this game. He didn't even play. It's very odd. What is Ten Hag doing? And people like Mark Aldridge will say, I'm sick of people saying change the manager, sack the manager, because, okay, bring another manager in. Then what? It's another period of, let's see what the manager wants to do. Let's have the manager's players come through. This guy's coming in. He's got all these players that other managers before him have bought that have stuck around. What are we going to do from there on in? And if I could just bring up this here, this is insane. This is Ten Hag's major signings over the last, year or two, whatever it's been now. So Antony for 85 mil, Haaland 72 mil. This is in pounds, by the way. Casemiro 70 from Madrid. Mason Mount 60 from Chelsea. Martinez 56. Onana 47. Malacia 14. Bayendir 4.3. And then he's got Ericsson, Evans on freeze. Reguilon, Amrabat, Weghorst, and Sabitzer were on loan. Obviously, Reguilon and Amrabat currently on loan. Weghorst back to Burnley or wherever he's gone now. Sabitzer back to Munich, I think he's at. So that is a lot of money spent for these players, and Antony hasn't done anything. Haaland is still very, very young. He may develop into a great player, but you don't know just yet. Casemiro is in his 30s, hasn't done a lot of running, has spent a lot of time in the midfield for Real Madrid, creating things and being the defensive block and whatnot. A lot of people saying his legs are gone. It's like, how can a player's legs be gone if he hasn't actually run that much? It's like saying a goalkeeper's out of it by the age of 30. It's like a goalkeeper doesn't really run around that much. So it's not to say a goalkeeper can't run around. Onana's come in. As I said, Onana's best game for me so far. Save after save after save. I think City had 17 on target shots or something. Let's have a look here. So let's have a look here. Where do we got the match report from? Who scored? Care of. What do we got here? Where's the stats? 21 attempts, 17 from open play, 3 set pieces, 1 penalty. United, 7 in total. 3 open play, 3 set pieces, 1 counter attack. That's a damning stat. That is a damning stat for Manchester United. At home at Old Trafford, 7 attempts to City's 21. Wow, that is so bad. And when you look at the players that they started with, the lineup on paper looks good, but we know on paper means jack shit because they don't really do anything. Haaland up front, Fernandes on the right. I don't watch United that often. A lot of United fans will tell me Fernandes is useless there. He's better playing in the centre or in maybe one of these deeper roles where he can not be a defensive player, but spread the balls out and do what he does. Amrabat, yellow card, off he goes. Rashford on that left, not really doing much. They got Reguilon, who's a left back, but they're not playing a left back. They're playing Lindelof, who's a centre back. Evans and Maguire as your centre back pairings. This is what I do not understand. How can you have Maguire, who is a piss poor defender, scores a goal in the Champions League? Onana saves your bacon. Fair enough, goalkeeper's meant to do that. Defender's not really meant to score, but hey, scores a goal. The whole we win more when I'm playing, so my percentage is great, therefore I should play is a bullshit stat. Because if you're beating shit opposition non-stop and you just happen to be in that squad, that don't mean anything. If you're not contributing, that's a useless stat. How he and Johnny Evans are your centre-backs? Is Varane injured? Is Martinez still out? What's the go? That's what I want to know. Dalot at right back. Luke Shaw is still out, of course. And again, Anthony Martial coming on. I forgot Martial was there. Mount's not really doing much. Haaland, penalty, goal, 2 goals and assist. Foden got himself a goal. Silva with the assist. They're doing the business. City doing the business. And they owned United in this game as they did. Because you're playing against City, it's hard to say you have to play at them. Like when they come to Anfield, for example, they know. And Guardiola knows. And that squad knows that when they come to Anfield, they're going to get themselves a game. That's going to be a little bit more different. It's going to be a little bit more difficult. When Tottenham come to town, when they go to Tottenham, rather, I should say, they know that they haven't had the best luck there. So what are they going to do? They end up leading, and then they concede, and they lose last minute, like I think it was last season or the season before. That may change. Tottenham are a bit of a different beast so far this season. City also slow starters, but we know after January, bang, they snap into it and just win after win after win, which they're very possible in doing, because we've seen him do it over and over again, which is why it's no surprise to say, yeah, City will be up there again, because January, February, they'll get on this run of just win after win after win, which is, again, highly possible because we've seen it. It has been demonstrated time and time again. So that's what you got there. That's terrible. Now, if you look at the the preview to see who was out and out. So Martinez injured, Malacia injured, Diallo injured, Sancho, he's left out eating Lunchables in his car. Casemiro injured again with the doubt. Wan-Bissaka's out, of course. I forgot he's Wan-Bissaka's the right back. Luke Shaw's the left back. Sorry, my bad about that. And McTominay starting, Akanji, De Bruyne out. I mean, City pretty much back to full strength. Why does this pop up here? So they had Anthony starting here, Casemiro. If he was fit, maybe he would have played, but you can't. It's just so bad for United at the moment, and they're going on penalties and whatnot. Anthony is a joke and a massive black mark on Erik ten Hag's judgment, and he's kicking out at Doku. Why is he doing that now? Ten Hag's halftime sub, tactical change completely backfire. City are playing through the team with ease now. That's what happens. Fernandes as the captain. What do you say, United fans? What do you say? Roy Keane, he's the opposite of what I would want in a captain, and that's Roy Keane, arguably your greatest captain in your history. Roy Keane was an absolute monster, an absolute beast. So, a difficult day in the office for United. Pretty cruisy for City. City move on now. United still have all to do, and the fallout continues with the whole United situation. Where do they go from here? Glazers ain't going anywhere. It's easy to say sack the manager, but another one comes in and the cycle repeats. And I will leave you with this one thing here. Football fans can be a funny bunch, as we know. But let me just show you this here. So this was tweeted. When is this? Let's check this out here. November 20th, 2021. Okay. Ole Solskjaer as a manager has done more damage to this club than the great rebuild he was brought in for. So that's from this at the Showtime Reds. Now, if we go back, again, it doesn't really mean much in the grand scheme of things, but in the context of it, let's have a look here. October 27th, unpopular opinion. If we had given Ole Solskjaer the signings he needed, Declan Rice, Bellingham, and a striker, instead of re-signing Ronaldo, Man United would be challenging for the title right now. Way to backtrack on that. And this person says, pisses me off how fans flip-flop when something becomes popular. Ten Hag is the new villain, so now they'll praise Ole, and in 3 years they'll do the same with Ten Hag. By the way, Rice, Bellingham, and Haaland were all quality players in 2021, so why didn't you say this then? Exactly, they're all good players. Everyone knew about Haaland's situation when he was at Dortmund, or even at Salzburg before that. So Declan Rice has been coming through the ranks non-stop. Bellingham, they retired his number at Birmingham. Like, bro. And look at him now. He's already outscored Zidane in his first season at Real Madrid. Unbelievable stuff. This has been a bit of a longer video than expected. But if you do see this, let me know what you think down below.